Hello everyone, I'm Joy Holt and this is Monday with the Mayor. We're here in Ferdinand today and we've got Chris James. Hi Chris.
Hello Joy.
How are you today?
Doing very well.
Very good. It's a beautiful day?
Yes.
Did you enjoy your weekend?
As much as possible, yes.
Good. It turned out to be good towards the end, I think.
It did.
Yeah.
Yes.
We paid for it and we got it, so
there you
good.
go.
All right, so let's get started. Water line replacement projects are all the rage right now.
They are.
So how's yours going?
Ours is going gangbusters. Quality Craft Construction was the low bidder for the first of two projects that we have. Right now they're working on Missouri Street. It's the continuation / completion of a project that we began in 2015. We did the first phase internally, because it was our water department did it. They're also our electric department, and they're a three-man crew. So if they got called off onto other projects, then the water line kind of had to sit and wait. Mm-hmm. And council decided, along with the superintendent at the time, it probably would be better to hire that out. Just that way the department guys could work on a lot of other things and not be tied to that project, period. And Quality Craft got the low bid. They have started at 10th Street. The first phase was from West 13th to 10th, and now they picked up at 10th and will go down to 5th Street, and that will conclude that. They've been making very good progress. They had a little boo-boo with a water line last week. That got rectified and back up and running. They're still doing some of the testing, and we have a lot of taps still to hook onto it, but the bulk of the main work going down Missouri, they are in between 7th and 6th Street today. If the weather holds, I would say probably by the end of May, they'll have completed the bulk of the work. It won't be done, but they will have gotten the bulk of the big digging taken care of. They take care of that. They were also, at our last council meeting, were the low bidder on our Virginia Street water project that was brought about last year. It was initially two projects. It was going to be just Virginia Street from 17th to 13th. And then when Best Home Furnishings constructed their new facility on their property, they came to the town, to the council, seeking additional water service. They were told by their insurance people, you need to have a secondary water source, because the way their campus is compiled, right now they get all of their water from our water tower just off of the bypass road. Insurance told them you're going to need a second source, because if there ever was an issue, if it was a bigger deal, it would literally drain the tank and kill the pressure for anybody in that area. And so they came to the council and asked if they could run a line from this side of the facility and have a secondary location set up so the sprinklers and everything could run from two sources, have lesser impact on water pressure. It also keeps their insurance people happy. They get fire protection. And so we went ahead with that. And initially it was going to kind of be two separate projects, but they tied together at a spot. So we just kind of morphed them into one project, and Quality Craft will start work on that later this summer. Don't really have a specific date yet, but.
Are you looking at replacing all the water lines in the town, or?
It's sort of a catch as catch can. These particular lines, especially on Missouri and some of the Virginia, are just older lines, close to 100 years of age in some circumstance, and they're just due for upgrading. We've got other water projects on the books in the next couple of years that aren't really age-related, but just issue-based. Certain lines up on East 3rd Street in particular, their last couple of years they've been almost steadily out there fixing a leak. And they'd get it patched, and then another leak would pop up just up or down the line from there. And so that's going to be one of the bigger items. Next year or the year after, I can't remember the exact schedule, and then that line will get replaced out, and that will hopefully cure that issue there.
Sure.
But in terms of the oldest lines, I'm pretty sure most of the oldest lines have now been replaced out or soon will be. I mean, there may be segments of some very old line on different streets and different blocks. Until they really cause issue, we'll just kind of let them be and let sleeping dogs lie, so to speak.
Sure.
If we start to have issue, then we'll look at going in and making a change. But for now, we'll kind of let it stay peaceful.
Right. You have a plan. That's great.
Well, we're trying.
So speaking of working on things and adding new stuff,
Yes.
what's going on at the edge of town? What are you guys building out there?
Well, we aren't,
Right.
but Randy Begley and his wife Diane and son Dakota, they are constructing the first of what could be a 4-complex or a 4-building apartment complex. It's called Royal Ridge Apartments. Randy is a developer. Folks in town know him very well. He's constructed several duplexes, and he's also built some actual residential homes and does very good work. And for the most part, at least my experience since I've lived in town, usually before he's even completed the structure, whether it's a duplex or a house, they're either spoken for or have been purchased, and just a matter of finishing it and then letting the renter or owner get in and do their thing. DuBois Strong in 2015 did a housing survey, not just for Ferdinand, but for the county. The thought process was kind of like the Field of Dreams, build it and they will come. The survey found that that's not necessarily the case. There are certain kinds of housing there's a lot of in the county. There's other homes that for certain age or demographics, income levels, there isn't as much of. And so we're trying to fill some of those gaps. Huntingburg is doing that with the Hunters Crossing work. Randy picked up on that, and they decided to construct on property that he owns just north of the bypass off of 23rd Street. The first building is up and framed, and I believe the bricklayers are going to be in the next couple of weeks. We've been working with him as well, getting utilities run there. The sewer line, we just finished that installation, or at least the trenching thereof last week. And coming up probably in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be putting in water line as well. And they're doing the dance right now with all the different utilities for gas service and phone and internet and electric and everything. So you've got lots of people trying to work together to dig as few trenches or holes as possible. And it's one of those, hey, if you dig this trench, can we put our line in there? And doing that dance right now, and it'll all work out. But he's got the master plan is a 4-building complex. 3 of the buildings are 12-unit facilities, which is what's being built right now. The 4th would be an 18-unit structure, and he's going to build them as the need arises. He's not going to build all 4 at one time and fill 1.5 and have 2 set empty. He's going to build them as the need justifies. That also allows him time to recoup some of his expenditures, get the units rented out in use, and then they can kind of gauge by how quickly folks are looking to move in. Then they can time it and say, okay, let's go ahead and build the second one, or let's wait a little bit longer, and kind of work that schedule out. So we're happy to work with him. We try to coordinate the utilities as best we can, and we worked up in a sort of a sharing arrangement. That's something that developers are shy of doing, at least here in town, of getting that developer to step forward, because the infrastructure costs are pretty stiff up front, because you have to make sure you've got your water and electric and gas and the sewer and everything run there, and that runs into money before you actually dig your first footer for your actual structure. So we try to work with Randy on that. We worked out a sharing arrangement. We pay a portion of those expenses. He pays a portion, so he's not hit with writing one big check, but he can kind of ease into some of those expenses, saves a little money that he can put toward the actual building and not have to worry about just paying out utility stuff. So we're trying to make it as much of a win-win as we can all the way around.
Well, that sounds great. Is this housing going to be specific to any certain demographic, or is it just first come, first serve?
First come, first serve.
Okay.
It's not based on age or income or job status or anything like that. If you have the wherewithal to afford the rent, pay your deposit and all of that, and there's a vacancy, they'll rent it to you.
Okay.
It's not where if you have to be over 55 or can only make up to
Right.
X dollars. It's open for anyone.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so last thing that we're going to talk about today, I heard that one of your trucks, it has a fun name. What's it called?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot has taken a big downfall?
Well, Bigfoot is old and is basically well past retirement age. It's 27-year-old. It's our sludge hauling vehicle. We were able to get a good chunk of our spring wet apply taken care of. The weather did not befriend us as much as it could have because it was very rainy, and so we can't get in while it's muddy to apply, and so that shrunk the window for when we could get out. We got a considerable number of loads out, but just the wear and tear of 27 years of hauling sludge to various farm fields, and it's not just nice smooth roads into the field and everything. It wore out the frame. It's a double framed vehicle, and the framing is shot. We could expend a lot of money to fix it up, just to retire it this fall. It was already in the plans that a new sludge hauling truck is going to be purchased as part of our drying bed project. And so instead of spending money for a very short-term fix, we're just going to let Bigfoot rest for the summer. We'll figure out how to dispose of him best way possible, whether it's open it up for a bid, surplus equipment, or how we want to go forward with that. But so Bigfoot is retired right now, and then we've got a contract, or soon to have a contract with a private hauler to take care of some of our excess sludge for right now to hold us through the summertime. And then when the drying beds are complete in October, which is not only our preference, but it's also mandated by IDEM that the clock closes at the end of October to have the work done. We'll have the new truck by then. We'll start hauling sludge out to the drying bed and let it do its thing and go from there, and then start doing dry apply in 2018.
Have you ordered the truck already?
Not yet. We're in the process right now. The specs information has been submitted out to a dozen or so vehicle providers, and at our June council meeting they'll open bids, and depending on what the numbers are at the July meeting, we'll give the go-ahead to the wastewater department. Okay, low bidder or whomever they choose, make the call to them, have them start putting the truck together, and then we'll have it come October and be ready to put it into use.
Sounds great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joy.
I appreciate your time.
Oh,
Thank
glad
you.
to do it.
All right, this has been Monday with the Mayor from here in Ferdinand. Chris James, I'm Joy Holt.